Hello, welcome on my on this channel, new English channel. I decided to have that video in English. I already published in French, and as I see people are so much interested, I wanted to wait for an English speaking person to present this video, so I don't have it immediately, so I do it myself. I hope you'll enjoy it anyway, even if it's a French lady speaking with her accent. But what I have to transmit to you is good news, because there are so many people asking the question of how can I remember, how can I memorize the notes on the guitar fretboard. So I have a new answer, a very good answer to the question, to this question. And I will explain it to you right away. I don't want to go through a maze of little things. So as you know, the fretboard, you cannot see anything on it. So you want to know where are the notes on this fretboard. So this method we have put together, my husband and I, is a mnemotechnic method. I mean, there are three information on one topic, and it's the best way to memorize three information on one topic. So, and it has to be organized. I mean, it has to be taken into sections. Otherwise, if you take it a whole, it's impossible to learn the notes on the guitar like that. Okay, you have to really have a tool to memorize, to let your brain organize itself, because it's the brain that organizes all the networks, all the circuits in your head. So let me explain to you very, very shortly so that you can have an overlook. We have imagined the fretboard, we call it a district in a town. A district in a town that has six streets in this district. And these streets, as you know, in America, you know the system, they are named by numbers, the streets in America. They don't have names. So we adapted the system with the numbers to the streets, to the strings of the guitar. So here you have the sixth string, and we call it an address. We gave it the number 601, 601, because in this number you can insert other information. So 6 E string or E note, and then on the first address you have the F. 601, this is F, and you will always remember that on 601 there is F, and then F lives at 601. So on these streets there live, on each street lives 7 people, and curiously uh, each family of people living on each street, they all have the same name. So it's very difficult to remember for one person where that person lives. If you have just the name of the person and you have to look in the whole district, in all the streets, in all the houses where the person lives, it's hard work and it will take a long time. So here you have Mr. F living in the first house in the street 600. So under the panel of 600, 601, and so on. And then you have the neighbor of Mr. F. The neighbor of Mr. F, he lives 2 houses further. There is nothing in between. There is something in between, maybe a garden or another house, but we are not interested for the moment who lives there. We know that Mr. and Mrs. F live here on 601, house number 1 on the 6th street. Mr. J lives in a third house on the 6th street, 603. This is Mr. J. Mr. and Mrs. F live 601, Mr. J lives 603, and then the neighbor of Mr. J is Miss A. Miss A, she likes to grow flowers, so she left a little garden here. There is no house, nobody lives there. Mrs. A lives in the fifth house on the sixth street, so 601. This is Mrs. A. Mrs. A has a neighbor too, and as she loves growing flowers, she already has a house here. Not a house, I mean a garden. And then she has a garden here, and nobody lives here. And here lives Mr. B. But Mr. B is a very particular neighbor because he is in love with his close neighbor, Mrs. C. And so Mr. B and Mrs. C, they live close together. There is absolutely nothing in between. You see? There is nothing in between. They live here. Tick, tick. Very close together. Can never be separated. It's like Mr. F, Mr. and Mrs. F, and Mr. E. Mr. E, Mr. and Mrs. F. They cannot be separated. There is nothing between them. So now you see, and this is the same system on each string. Of course, with each string has its specific exercises. But I tell you one thing, what I told you now, you'll never forget it. Tomorrow morning you'll remember, and tomorrow evening too. So it's a mnemotechnic system that will turn you into a perfect master of your fretboard. I mean, as far as knowing where the notes are is concerned. Of course, now there are exercises to really learn all the names, all the people living there and where they live. And then you know what? If you want to go from one person to another person, there are shortcuts. You don't have to go through all the maze. There are shortcuts when you know the shortcuts, when you know the street numbers, when you know the house numbers and the family names. You can go to each one, to each member of the family, taking shortcuts. And so, I mean, it's an image, I tell you, okay? I have to go into more details after in another video. This is just because I just saw on my French videos that people are so much interested and so flabbergasted by the method, by the technique. So I said immediately, I will go and publish it in English, whatever. Doesn't matter if it's not perfect, but you'll have the information. If you want, you can subscribe. Of course, there is a book to the method, but for the moment, I cannot send it to America. It's too far, it's too expensive. So what I suggest, if you want the book, I will make up a system in my website where you can subscribe to upload the pages. Will be much cheaper because there is no fret, nothing, and you will have them one after the other. You can upload them into your old computer and you have them under your eyes. So it's quite easy too. It's an easy system too. So the trainings will start very soon with tutorials. Subscribe to my channel so that I can you will get the alert for new videos, and I will give you in the next future the means to subscribe to the trainings. Immediately I want to tell you it will be uh, um, at your reach because it won't be expensive. It is videos. You will get one video every week, so a very short video every week, and after some time you'll see it'll like a snowball. I mean, it will all assemble and it will grow and grow and grow, and all the knowledge you'll gather at each video will adapt to the old knowledge and the new knowledge, and you will really be very happy to know this new system. I will give you the link to my email at the end of the video. You can write to me, ask questions. I will answer them. If you want to know when the training starts, just ask. Whenever I know, very soon I will be able to tell you. Subscribe to my channel. You will automatically get noticed if there is a new video coming out. So I hope to see you soon. I hope you enjoyed this video. Tell your friends, tell your teachers, there is a new system to learn the notes on your fretboard, right? So, very happy to be able to tell you about this and have a good time.